So now we're moving on to talk about agents and the legal definition of an agency relationship. In business, a lot of times you're actually acting for someone else, and this can give rise to what's called an agency relationship. And as we can see here, this is quite common in business, and we get it in lots of situations. Directors are agents for the corporation. Notice they're not agents for shareholders legally, they're agents for the corporation. Often, not always, but often employees are agents for the employer. A real estate agent is an agent for the seller. So there's lots of different agency relationships that we have. The central thing to understand is the nature of what the agency relationship sets up. And to do that, why don't we have a look at a bit of a diagram. The essence of agency involves a situation where someone is acting for someone else. So there are two key parties in terms of the agency relationship. The first party is the principal. So they're the person who, in essence, delegate authority. We'll talk in more detail about what I mean by delegate or have authority given to someone else, and they give it to the agent. So often when I write things, I'm going to write P for principal and A for agent, just to simplify things. Okay. So the principal allows the agent to act on their behalf, and that agent will then act with a third party, someone else. Now what you can see here is that the agent is acting with someone, and in fact there can be lots of third parties. Okay? So there can be many third parties here that the agent acts with on behalf of the principal. But the agent is acting on behalf of the principal. So the agent isn't acting for themselves, they're acting for this person up here who gave them the authority to do deals. And you can see that this creates a bit of a problem, right? Because the principal actually can't see what the agent's doing. Okay? So the agent could be making all kinds of ridiculous deals without the principal knowing. So therefore, this agency relationship is considered quite special, and it's something that is quite detailed, and when we have it and when we don't have it and what the limits of the authority actually are become quite important. Let's try and think of an example to make it more realistic. I just want to use a simple example. Say the coffee shop. Right? So I went to the university coffee shop and I brought a coffee shop. So then we have the employer, the bookshop, some corporate form employs the person, the barista, who makes the coffee, and then you have all the people coming. So there's me, and there were at least 3 other people there, patrons or customers, let's call them customers, coming to get their coffee. And the barista was actually acting on behalf of the employer. So the barista was taking money and using coffee to supply coffee. Yeah. Now the issue is, okay, so if something goes wrong here, just say I'm not happy, or I'm not happy with my coffee and I want my money back. Can I get my money back off the barista? Well, the barista probably doesn't have a lot of money and could declare bankruptcy and not give me my $2.50 back. So I really want to know, can I get the money back from the employer based upon what the barista's doing? And the answer is, if there's an agency relationship, yes, I can. The actions of the agent bind the principal. And that's a very important point around what's occurring here. You might also remember that that's the essence of the relationship in partnerships that we dealt with just before. Okay, so that's the nature of the agency relationship. We have a principal, so the principal authorises the agent, and the agent deals with some third party, and the third party ends up with a contract and even they can get a tortious action against the principal as a result of this agency relationship. And that's what's set out on this slide here, is that the principal can be bound to by the actions of the agent. So the agent has the authority to act on behalf of the principal. We've seen lots of pretty diagrams. There's lots of different examples of this relationship. Employers and employees, sellers and auctioneers, clients and solicitors or estate agents, stockbrokers, corporations and directors, and it's the essence of the relationship between partners. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and it has to do with the scope of authority. To understand scope of authority, why don't we have a look at it in the next podcast?